The third is the kind of reader who would welcome an opportunity to look into a possibly unfamiliar, non-theistic, or beyond-theistic spiritual tradition. I hope to give these various readers an inside view into an all-too-common problem, that of losing one's self-purchase, or even one's sense of identity, when medical circumstances bear down brutally upon the sensory body. The specific instance described here is that of total vision loss, a condition or affliction that people fear at a deep instinctual level. It was in part to expose the irrational sources of that fear, sources that really have nothing to do with the practical difficulties posed by blindness, that I undertook this work. Beyond Vision shows both the reader who has had no direct experience of vision loss and the one who is now grappling with it what it is like to penetrate beneath the fear of blindness and fully take in an alternative, parallel domain of sensory experience. On a more personal level, this memoir shows how self-inquiry led a young man with failing vision to overcome a pathological family background and enter into a full life that coupled spiritual exploration with a career in the Foreign Service. My narrative describes a particular way of going blind, not all at once as the result of a sudden trauma, but very, very slowly. It depicts this process from its experiential core, inhabiting it inwardly rather than observing its outward effects in the way a doctor or medical technician tries to do. This is the patient's eye point of view, a subjective view that can never be captured in the objectifying language of the clinician. The sighted general reader who takes up this viewpoint begins vicariously to enter into a different sensory world, the one permanently inhabited by persons with retinitis pigmentosa, RP. RP is a progressive eye disease that, in most cases, attacks the retina from its periphery inward, slowly but steadily reducing the visual field to a narrow zone of strained and constricted perception. The long-term result may be legal blindness, 10% normal field vision or less, or total blindness, including loss of all light perception. Research into the fundamental causes and dynamics of RP has opened up exciting possibilities for treating this disease, but so far, at least, it has remained incurable. Whatever the immediate future may hold for treating RP, and beyond that for achieving a definitive cure, this book is all about coping and affirmation. It does not belong to that genre of literature sometimes referred to as pathography, which portrays mainly suffering and loss. On the contrary, Beyond Vision is about living in wholeness. I affirm from my own experience that it is possible to learn how to live with this disease, live with it not merely passively as a victim, but actively as a kind of explorer. One can do this right here and now, even as emergent lines of RP research are developed, tested out, and eventually implemented as effective treatment. The key to dealing with RP, or for that matter any other serious disease, is to find the ways in which it gratuitously attaches itself to our sense of identity. That attachment can then be broken through a remarkable form of insight, one that can be shared and taught, an insight that taps into the autonomy and resilience of the deep self. Letting go of the false identity to discover our fundamental nature is a life-altering change, one that has far more significance than either the presence or absence of eyesight. This kind of realization can be sought by any patient with any serious malady who is prepared to look beneath the surface of his or her experience, learn how the disease in question presents itself as a personal menace, and then radically reconsider what the word person actually refers to. As we familiarize ourselves with RP, our case in point, we will see that the sense of personal threat that it inculcates tends much of the time to be repressed, especially in adolescence and early adulthood. If the perceived threat could be dredged up to the surface of the patient's mind and put into the language of thoughtful but conventional selfhood, it would go something like this. As the self I am now, I am, of course, a seer. As this seer, this inherently sighted self, am I really going to go blind? What then would I be deep down? Would I still be me, or a reduced